if you're feeling low or dysregulated after a lot of ejaculation, the reason why is because your nervous system is being taxed. So that's the beginning of it.
And you're losing on the energetic etheric level, right? You're losing
Yeah.
life force energy. Hey guys, Sherry James here, and on this episode of Hymology, we are moving on to Wisdom Bomb number 2 with Tyson Adams. Hi, Tyson.
Hey.
And Tyson is a men's coach who is raising the consciousness of men around the area of sexuality. To find out more about him, you can go ahead and read the description. But for right now, we're going to move on with Wisdom Bomb number 2. Don't ejaculate. Here's why.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And
Why? Why can't you agree more?
no, I mean, I agree with you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
like
what's
I
your
abs
perspective? What's your perspective before we dive
You
in?
are the star. I am merely the host. So, yes, I choose you. I chose you as a guest because I know that we're aligned.
Okay, let's do it. So here's how it works, guys. When you ejaculate, you're releasing seminal fluid. In your seminal fluid, we have proteins, vitamins, minerals, sugars, and amino acids. And it's actually quite a lot. And when that's going out too much, too fast, too soon, which is for some men, it depends upon how old you are. I'll talk about a refractory period here in a moment. But when that's going out too much, what that does is it pulls on the hypothalamus in the brain and our entire endocrine system. So these are our glands to reproduce our hormones to reproduce our swimmers, to reproduce our seminal fluid. And this is an autonomic function. We don't have a choice in this.
Yeah.
But the hypothalamus, of course, if you go deep into the neurology of what this does, this part of the brain, it regulates our sleep, our mood, our hunger, our thirst, our body temperature, our testosterone, and a number of other things. So this is basically the remote controller of our life. So if that energy, that life force, that seminal fluid, which has nutrients, is going out, it's got to pull to recreate that from our internal organs. So it's going to be pulling
Depletion.
that from our exactly. So from our bones, from our organs, from our kidneys, from our liver, our spleen has to recreate that matter in order for us to go on. So if you're feeling low or dysregulated after a lot of ejaculation, the reason why is because your nervous system is being taxed. So that's the beginning of it.
And you're losing on the energetic etheric level, right? You're losing
Yeah.
life force energy. Life force is how we create life, right? So
Yeah.
sperm is super packed with life
Yes.
force because each time you ejaculate, your body thinks it's going to have a baby.
Yep. Yep. And so here's the other thing that's really critical. When I've worked with men, I always ask them, okay, so if you're ejaculating too much, too fast, too soon, what I have found is that every man has a secondary thing that they do in order to get themselves back up. So some of those things are Adderall, caffeine, sugar, Netflix, video games, alcohol, cannabis, eating lots of supplements, whatever it might be. There's these other things that when we get low on energy, because our life force is low, that we then do in order to pick ourselves up so that we can get shit done, pay the bills, take our kids, do whatever. And so what's important is to identify not just what the life force is costing you in terms of time and energy and how you feel, but then also what is it that you consume that's either costly or that doesn't actually support you in order to get yourself to the next level of whatever it is that you have to do for the day. So that's the whole nervous system response to why not to ejaculate too much.
I would love to hear your personal take on this, right? Because there's you as a coach, there's me as a
Sure.
coach, right?
Yeah.
And so obviously you have had to master this. So there was a point in your life when you were wasting this life force. What was like when you started the practice of semen retention, there must have been like a moment or an experience, I'm guessing,
hmm
where you were like, whoa.
hmm
Okay. When you take the little blue pill for erectile dysfunction, you are a customer for life. When you work with me, you're a client for 3 months, and we actually heal it. The choice is yours. Sign up for your free video consultation.
Yeah, so I lived in Southeast Asia. I had a coffee roaster and a cafe. And what ended up happening was I used a spermicidal lubricant condom, and it set off basically interstitial bladder cystitis. I went through tons of pain through my
Oh,
penis, my urethra, my bladder. And so it caused all kinds of issues. I had erectile dysfunction, I had premature ejaculation, and it hurt really bad to masturbate. And so I was effectively forced through a medical condition, sort of a chronic bladder disorder that was set off. And I was in that for 4 years. It was a massive journey of
wow.
healing. And so, why this is important is that was the first time that I chose to do 30 days of semen retention, not because it was trending or because I knew about it. I was in the jungle. This is like 14 years ago. So I was not even into this kind of stuff. So I was forced to do semen retention. And what I realized in that moment was that I had normalized living my life at a quarter tank, and I finally got to full tank. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm crushing it every day. I'm getting a lot done. There's all these things that are happening. The business started to roll. And I started to see like, oh, there was a shadow in me, which is that I had normalized living my life at a low life force for my whole entire existence since I was 12. And that was when the aha went off. And I was like, I need to be a steward of this stuff and not just waste it.
I love that personal share.
Mm.
So, besides feeling that life force boost, and I almost feel like we could be tiptoeing into wisdom bomb number three. So, if we are, stop me.
Hmm.
Um, what other benefit or benefits have you noticed with semen retention?
Yeah. So semen retention has, I wish I had my graphic that I could pull up, but it has effectively so many. So you can look at this in terms of financial. You can look at this as emotional stability. You can look at this as a
Sperm as
physiological.
money. I couldn't agree more.
Ex- Exactly, because you have your life force, so
They
then you
call
can
it the
be a
money shot
creator.
for a reason.
Love that. It deepens your spiritual practice. Of course, when you're retaining your semen, you make love. Instead of making love for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, you can make love for hours upon hours, which then become days upon days, which become weeks upon weeks. And then sex is a whole other thing. Instead of a thing you do, it's a place you go. So it becomes its own spiritual practice instead of just using it to feel better. Um, and then the other thing is your body begins to get to a place where you're able to hold muscle. Because I actually had delayed puberty because I actually ejaculated too much when I was young. And so you're able to have stronger bones, build muscle, your face clears up, your hair gets shiny, your eyes get shiny. They start to have a little bit of a glow. And you sleep amazing because your testosterone levels start to, build back up. So it's like the life hack of it's the best life hack, basically. It's amazing. So,
I love that semen retention as the best life hack. Yeah.
yeah.
Instead of taking all these like really expensive supplements that, most people need like a fairly big budget for, like
Hmm.
this is the
Hmm.
quickest hack for sure. I know for myself as a woman, when a man says, I don't always ejaculate, I hope that's okay. I'm like,
Mm.
yeah. Like, yes, 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 right? Because I'm single, so
Yeah.
I'm dating. And for me, it's like he's empowered,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
So for me as a woman, I'm looking at the result or the benefit of this is an empowered man.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think I feel like I this could lead into wisdom bomb number three, to me just saying that. So I think we can close this one out and then we're gonna move on
Okay.
unless you have any final thoughts.
I would say the last thing that I would say is semen retention is a skill set that you build through nervous system control. I work with massage guns a lot. So if you're out there and you get the buildup where you feel like you're agitated when you try it, using a massage gun in the perineum and the pelvic floor and doing foam rollers down there is a really good way to like learn how to release so that that energy can flow through the body more easily. So that's the hack to
I
utilize
love
these
that. Yeah,
tools.
because
Mhm.
you're breaking up tension essentially. Yeah, right? So
Exactly.
tension, release, but you're talking about releasing in a different way. Hey, you. Hey, guy, who's learning about sexual health, mixed in with some Tantra, mixed in with some five elements of Chinese medicine and some Western medicine. I want to let you know something. I would love it if you would hit my subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, you're going to know when new content is posted every Friday.